Here we are at the Spring Hill Suites lobby. Mac Buckley here with the UCCS Athletic Network. Here we have head coach Lynn Plett of your own UCCS Mountain Lions. Hey, coach, big win tonight. How are you feeling after that?
Much better than if we lost, obviously, but no, it's been good. The girls actually, I thought, played really hard. We made some mistakes, but you expect them to make some mistakes on the first game out. But overall, we had some. We did what we needed to do at the right time.
Hey, coach, coming into tonight's game, never faced this team before as a Mountain Lions head coach, and you weren't sure what to expect coming into that game. How did you adjust? How did you set up that team play for success tonight?
I'm not sure there was as much adjusting as maybe we would have liked to have made, but we kind of felt that they were more of a team that really tried to attack the basket. And we knew we had a size advantage over them, but they had a quickness advantage over us overall with the team, I think. And so I think once we figured that out a little bit, we were able to take advantage of some of the options that we had with our size. But they have to give them credit. I think they did a good job. They pressured us pretty good out there and made it pretty difficult for us at times to get the ball where we wanted to in the paint. And then when we did get it there, they were pretty aggressive about double teaming the post. Yep. So we ended up turning the ball over 22 times in the ball game as opposed to their 11, and that was probably the biggest hurdle that we had to overcome in order to win the game.
Wow, Coach, 22 turnovers compared to 11. That's looking at the stats there. Managing to get the win, just your first game as a Mountain Lions head coach, being on the road, does that play as big of a factor when you think about that big picture?
It was one of those situations where since it was the first game of the year, I didn't necessarily know what to expect. And I'm not sure the players knew what to expect from me yet either, because we're still trying to figure each other out. But they've done a really good job of really trying to implement what we've asked them to do from the coaching staff. They didn't always do it exactly the way we want to, but I've never had a team that does do it every way that I want it to every time too. So, but they stuck with it and they did some really good job. We had some players that really stepped up when we needed to at particular times of the game, and I think Jen Vigil especially played really consistent all year, all game long, got some big steals that kept us in the game, and then made some big shots that really got the momentum swinging to us in the fourth quarter that really kind of was able to stretch the lead up a little bit.
Yeah, that fourth quarter was huge, but it was definitely a swing of things compared when you look at that first quarter and just starting that game off right from the tip-off. The first quarter seemed a lot different than the fourth, and there were only about 3 turnovers, I believe, that I counted in that fourth quarter. Coach, what did you change up along the way?
I wish I could take credit for that. No, that was really the players kind of taking care of the ball and settling down and doing what they needed to do. It helps when you have some success, and we had a streak there of success on the offensive end, and that got us some confidence, I think, to take care of the ball a little bit better down the stretch. And then when we're protecting the lead, it's always a little easier in the last 4 minutes to protect the lead than it is to kind of come back, and I thought they did a pretty good job of that down the stretch.
Yeah, they were able to get that lead in the fourth quarter. Hey, Coach, it being the first game of the season, you have 3 returning seniors, Brittany Hernandez, Jen Vigil, and Tori Fisher. Were you expecting them to step up like they did tonight?
Yeah. Yeah, I was, and they really did. They maybe didn't. I mean, they can all sit here. They could all stand here and say, "Well, I should have done this. I should have done that." But they made some really big plays when we needed to. Tori, once we got her settled down, she was passing up some shots early in the game, and then she hit some shots and did some really good job. She's really become really good about running the floor too, and she has an advantage with her size as opposed to a lot of opponents to get up and down the floor. And Brittany, she'd probably say that she was a little disappointed in her offensive end, but she still does so much for us. She blocks some shots. Yep. She helps us on the defensive end a lot, and she just kind of a rock for us too. I think from the rest of the players, they look at that. And Jen, just her speed and quickness tonight was really effective for us. And finally, after I harped on him long enough for somebody to take the ball to the basket, she was the one that immediately made some big plays and taking it to the basket.
Finding that success tonight, Coach, a lot of runs back and forth, a lot of just speed and quickness out there on the court. Did you feel success with this new system that you've implemented with the Mountain Lions?
You know, it's interesting because I was talking to Liz, my assistant coach, and after the game, and I said one thing that I really feel really good about, and that was the main thing we really wanted to to kind of impress upon our players this year was to really get up and down the floor, and they do that. They've done that now. That's part of the reflected in the 22 turnovers, because we didn't always make the right choices and didn't always make the best passes all the time. We got in a little hurry sometimes too, but it's easier to slow down than it is to speed up. And I'm really pleased that they've adopted and accepted that idea of really get up and down the floor. And now it's my job and their job too together to try to still keep that intensity and that speed up and down the floor, but keep it under control a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Coach, real quick, Newman Jets, they were putting a ton of pressure on, almost a full court press there with that offensive pressure and defensive pressure as well. With the system that you're running, it seemed very effective. Any thoughts that you'd like to elaborate as far as that pressure and your team basically taking the time to settle things down and play the game that they've been practicing?
I think it was really a good experience to get that early in the year, because it's going to give us some good film for us to be able to show the girls on what the options are. We were talking about cutting back door a little bit more and movement on our offensive end, and that's something we need to get better at, and especially when we play against teams with pressure. And so I'm not sure we'll see much of that tomorrow night. Looks like Oklahoma Christian likes to play zone, and I would guess they probably will against us too. So that's another hurdle that we'll have to get over, because we haven't really worked much on a zone offense yet. As a lot of teams haven't. So hopefully we can still counter that a little bit with, again, getting rebounds and getting up the court and getting into it real quick before they get their zone set up. And if not, then hopefully we'll make good decisions and come out with another one, we hope.
Awesome, Coach. That all sounds too great. Can't wait for that tip-off at 1 o'clock tomorrow against Oklahoma Christian. Hey, Coach Lynn Plett, thank you so much for your time this evening. Mac Buckley here with the UCCS Athletic Network. Thank you.
Thanks, Mac.